I lost $1.5 million overnight because I made this simple mistake. But what I didn't tell you in the title is that I actually lost closer to $40 million. The deal I lost ended up being worth about $80 million, and I would have owned half. I'm sharing this story because it is one of the most painful business lessons I've ever had to learn, and I want to make sure that you don't make the same mistake I did. I'm Evan Holiday. I've developed over 2,300 units of affordable housing, and I've learned these lessons the hard way so that you don't have to. When I first started my company, I was really eager to do bigger deals, just like I was doing previously when I worked for a bigger development company. But I didn't have the capital to be able to do it on my own. Around this time, though, I met another successful real estate professional. He wanted to get into affordable housing development and seemed to genuinely care about it. On paper, this seemed like a perfect partnership. He had the capital and I had the affordable housing development experience. He had a great reputation in the community and seemed completely trustworthy. We clicked immediately. So we said, hey, time is money, so let's get some deals going ASAP. Now, I knew we needed a partnership agreement to really lay out the terms of our deal in writing, and I mentioned this to him, but I also knew we needed to get going and start work ASAP. We started drafting an agreement, but I did not make it a priority like I should have. And I'm sure you can guess what happens next. It seemed to be the perfect partnership on paper. The problem was we never documented the partnership on paper. So in good faith, we started working together on 2 new development sites that we were able to get under contract, as well as a third piece of land that he had already owned. I dove headfirst into the work. I got started in community engagements and rezonings, entitlements, site feasibility, site plans, working with the architects, the engineers, and getting support for public funding. I put in almost 500 hours of work on these deals. And all of this was in good faith that I was working on a 50-50 partnership structure where we would share equally the economics and the decision making. He brought the capital and loan guarantees, and I brought the knowledge, experience, and day-to-day workload. Now, I'm not saying you can't work on a deal at all until an agreement is signed, but do not make the same mistake that I did of letting 8 months pass and adding massive value to a project before you put anything in writing. Put a fork in the road early in the process and just set a boundary that you won't move forward without this agreement in place. Trust me. So like I said, 8 months go by and then COVID hits. All of a sudden, this confident, supportive partner that I had that I thought shared the same values as me, all of a sudden got scared. He started backing away from every single part of our handshake deal. He wanted to completely change our terms. Instead of a 50-50 deal, he wanted a significantly higher portion of economics and final decision-making power on everything. Basically meaning anything we didn't agree to, he had final say on. And here's the little cherry on top. The site that he already owned, I had already added significant value, adding roughly $3 million in land value through entitlement work and community approvals. Side note, if you want to learn how to add massive value to land like this through rezonings, make sure to watch the video I have in the link below. Okay, back to the story. Without a signed agreement in place, I had no legal ground to stand on. And that is when I realized that I could not enter into a 15-year partnership with someone who was already renegotiating the deal before we even got it closed. A partnership is like a marriage. Your values and decision-making need to be aligned. So I had to walk away from all that work I had done and all the millions of dollars of value that I had added. Here's what I lost. 500 hours of my time, my 1.5 million of the total $3 million of value I had added to his land, everything I had taught him about affordable housing, and my 50% ownership of what would go on to be an $80 million development. But what I gained is a valuable lesson that I'm now sharing with you. Now, as a new developer watching this video, you might make the same mistake. You might be so eager to get a deal done that you forget to do something so simple as signing a partnership agreement. But please, 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 I beg you, learn from me on this one. I don't care if this is your brother or your best friend. You need to have something in writing. So how do you structure these partnerships correctly? Start with what we call an MOU, or Memorandum of Understanding. This is a simple 3 to 5 page document that outlines the high-level terms of your partnership together before you spend a bunch of time and money on it. Things like, what is the goal of the partnership? Who's responsible for what? How you split economics? Who has decision-making powers? And what happens if things change? We actually have example MOUs in our Affordable Development Mastery program that I'll link below. When it comes to economics, base them on the value that each person brings to the deal. The person guaranteeing the loans will typically get at least 50% of a deal because they're putting their personal assets on the line for the guarantee. Start with that MOU, then move to a binding partnership agreement before you do any real major work. Your attorney can help with the more formal partnership agreement. And here is how you know that you've found the right partner. They They are eager and willing to document everything up front. They want to talk through roles, responsibilities, and what happens if things go wrong. I don't know if this guy was trying to string me along the entire time, or if he was just scared and, life happened. But if someone resists putting agreements in writing, that is a huge red flag, and you should walk away immediately. Thankfully, I was working on another JV agreement with another partner at the same time, so I was able to see a drastic difference between the two. These partners were eager to get things in writing, and they trusted me and the value that I brought to the deal. We made decisions together, and they let me stay in my own lane. And now we're working on our second project together, and they've shown me what great partnerships can actually look like. The right JV partner can help you scale from small deals to massive developments almost overnight, but only if you structure the partnership correctly from day one. Look, I learned this lesson the expensive way, so you don't have to. And unfortunately, this is not the last time I learned this lesson, but that is a video for another day. If you want to learn more about structuring these partnerships, check out our Affordable Development Mastery program with the link below. We have sample MOUs, partnership agreements, and case studies. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.